We have the honor of having with us the world's foremost authority on habit change. Shannon Gibson joins us today.
And we're not even changing any of our habits going into the interview, right?
Shannon, I need some clarification on this, though, because in my mind, there are two types of habit change. One is changing bad habits, like you smoke, you don't want to smoke.
Sure.
Another is designing your behavior to succeed, a more positive kind of thing.
Sure.
Which do you deal with?
Both.
Both. Okay. Now, it's only
Which one's better?
Yeah, which one's better? But I think it's only fair to the people watching this that when they hear world's foremost authority on habit change, that be qualified somewhat. Who called you that?
Well, it's a self-proclamation, actually. I just haven't found anybody to compete with me, that's all.
It's a very, very crowded field.
But you're in St. Louis, but you do this as a national thing, or?
National. Well, my primary publication is on the internet. I look for people on Facebook that are hurting.
Oh, really?
And reach out to them. You know, if you listen to people, they will always tell on themselves, you know, what they're going through.
Sure.
All you have to do is just listen, and you'll pick up on
And what
these.
do they think, though? I mean, there's a lot of crackpots out there on the internet. So if you approach somebody and they don't know who the heck you are, they're like, oh, what are you trying to, like, scam them out of some money or something?
Are you suggesting that Shannon is a crackpot?
Yeah.
Well-
No, but I mean, people are, you know, there's a bunch of crackpots out there.
Well, if I'm reaching out to somebody, it's somebody that's on my friends list.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
So,
All right.
you know, I wouldn't reach out to a stranger.
But most people, as I mentioned, it is a very crowded field, and most of these self-proclaimed authorities on it, you are the only one saying the world's most authoritative, well, how do you say it? Foremost authority. You're the only one saying that. But most of them have MDs by their name and PhDs by their
Sure.
name. They've written several books. They're professors at major universities. Do you have any of those? I mean,
Well,
you're not even wearing a coat and tie.
No, I should have
That's
my
the good
lab
news.
coat on today just to add some validation. I've been writing this website called youchoosetowin.com since 2007. And I have received well over 60,000 emails from that website. People like the articles that I write. And this is congruent with, people that have relationship challenges. I've got one article on there about the distinctions between healthy and unhealthy relationships.
And do you actually take people on as a case and help them get through their issues, or?
Sure. People will say, hey, you know, I'm dealing with this. Can you help me with this?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And
But
then,
isn't that a giant leap to world's foremost authority?
It may
Really
be.
him in the
bothers
hot
me.
It may be.
Okay, so you just say that in jest? I mean, I can accept that.
No,
if you
it's
will
not.
admit
It's
that.
not in jest. It is actually really more of a goal.
Okay.
Okay, it's more of, you know, this is who I
Okay,
want.
so you should put
this
I
is who I
want to be.
but
desire.
isn't that
Right.
part of your philosophy, though? Let's talk about that for a minute. I mean, is it when you change your thinking, you change your life? Is it that you already imagine or think that you are what you hope to be?
Yes, act as if.
Yes.
Yeah, that
Act
makes
as
sense.
if.
Yeah.
You know.
So you should be wearing a tie.
Hey, he's busy. He's doing all kinds of things.
You do this full time?
Oh no.
Okay.
I run a service business.
And you
I do-
have a long history of family here in St. Louis. Aren't you like one of the original St. Louis families or something?
Well, yes. My grandmother's family pioneered Webster Groves. They had the first house there, and their family is famous for rifle making. They made the Hawken rifle.
Really? Wow.
In the 1850s, they had a gun shop right where the arch is right now. Boy, I'd like to have a land lease on that piece of property.
But what do you do?
Well, I mostly run around power washing, window cleaning, doing handyman.
So I would
Any
assume
type of
I'm assuming
handyman
you're doing
job you can
stuff you
imagine.
really like doing.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
I like working with my hands.
Do you have habits now you want to get rid of?
Oh, sure. Not putting something exactly where it goes.
Well, now, change
That's something that
change your
bugs
life.
me.
That's right. But actually, let's talk a little bit more about your philosophy, because that's what I think your main message is, and that's why you're so passionate about. I mean, who else goes out and makes a website and sits down and says they're the world's foremost authority on changing your thinking? How did you, how did this all happen, and what do you actually do with it other than operate your website? Is it mostly on the internet or?
Mostly, yes.
Okay. So then you take on people and you advise them, by email or?
Sure. Chatting, sure. Video chatting, whatever.
Okay. So tell us more about.
So how does a person change habits?
Yeah.
Okay. So in order to change, a person needs basically 3 ingredients. They need the want to, they need the why to, which always goes hand in hand. If you want to change, you already have the reason why you want to change, right? So those are both already established. Now the third thing they need is the how to change. So how do you change a habit? Well, first you have to link some sort of association to pain, because there's only 2 motivators: avoiding pain or receiving pleasure. So then how do you make some sort of pain association to something that you want to change? A person wants to quit smoking. So what is bad about a cigarette? First of all, there's nothing good about a cigarette.
Well,
all right.
There's
First,
pleasure in
establish
smoking.
that.
There's a pleasure in smoking.
Yeah, there is. There's some kind of it does something for you. I mean, cavemen smoked sticks.
Not to mention a physical addiction.
Right. So why does a person smoke? Because they feel that there's some sort of pleasure there,
Yes,
right?
yes.
Otherwise,
Yeah,
why would they run to it?
Right.
Right? So first you have to disassociate that good association that you have. And that's why I said there's nothing good about a cigarette. And if a person really sits down, they can realize, yeah, there's nothing good about a cigarette. It stinks up my car. It burns my clothes. It just smells horrible. They're super expensive.
Sure.
They're horrible for you.
Right.
I mean, I'm thinking if a person was supposed to smoke, our nose would be turned upside down and we'd be going down the road like a choo-choo train. Right? If we were really
So
Like some people
how
are
do you
smoking.
change your desire to smoke? I mean,
you have to find this association. And here's a little hypnotherapy that I've come up with to help people with that. You're really a very compassionate person. And when you see someone in a wheelchair, you have compassion on that person. And you're also thankful that you're not in a wheelchair. Isn't that true?
Yes.
So then you also see the same 2 things on the inside of you. One, you have compassion on this person. And secondly, you're glad that you chose to quit smoking.
This is a good place, really, to go to your website. They can contact you through their website, right? A person who wants to change their habits.
Absolutely.
And the website is youchoosetowin.com.
That's correct.
They can go there and look for Shannon Gibson.
yeah, and that's a good thing you're doing, Shannon. Thanks
All right.
for
That's-
coming
that's
in.
the bottom line.
Yes. And then I don't have to say, gee, I'm glad I'm not Shannon, because I wish I was Shannon. Yeah. Our segment today is made possible through the generosity of Nighthawk Security. They're locally monitored here in St. Louis since 1974. Call Joe, and he can install, service, and maintain and monitor your security
here in
system.
St. Louis.
Right. Call 846-4600.